Hi, this is Evelyn again. So today let's talk about deep vein thrombosis, which means DVT, blood clot that is formed in the deep veins, possibly in your legs. What does that really do? Why is it important? When you have DVT, your leg is going to swell. You're going to have cramping pain. Your leg is going to feel warm to touch. And this blood clot possibly might end up pulling away and traveling to your lungs and get stuck in your lungs, which is going to impair blood supply to your lungs. And this can lead to pulmonary embolism, which can lead to sudden death. So it is important that we know the signs and symptoms of DVT in order to prevent this from happening. So what are the risk factors for DVT? One of them being immobility. So staying for too long, you're not moving your legs, you're not moving anything, you can end up with DVT. Another one is people on bed rest can end up with DVT as well. Surgery, post-surgery, you can end up with DVT. Obesity, overweight can cause DVT. Another risk factor for DVT would be pregnancy. And the reason being that during pregnancy, a woman's blood clots more because it is a way for the body to prepare you to lessen the amount of blood that you're going to lose during delivery. So the body prepares you by clotting more. So that's why people with pregnancy does have high risk factor for DVT, as well as some conditions that cause your blood to clot easily. Another risk factor for DVT will be smoking. What smoking does is that smoking can make your blood stickier and viscous, which can promote blood clots, and that can lead to DVT. So it is important that we stay away from smoking. Stay away from smoking. So what are the complications of DVT? One of them is pulmonary embolism, and I mentioned that before, where the clot from that deep vein is going to travel and get stuck in your lungs. It's going to limit blood supply to the lungs, and this can lead to pulmonary embolism, which can lead to sudden death. It's important that we know this. It's very crucial. And signs and symptoms of pulmonary embolism is shortness of breath. You're feeling weakness and dizziness. You're being tired for no reason. You're having shortness, like you can't really breathe. So you need to seek a medical emergency right away. So another one would be damage to your vein, because that blood clot is forming that deep vein. Is going to damage the vein. So which means it's going to impair circulation in your legs. You're going to start having swelling in your leg, pain in your leg, cramping in your leg that's ongoing. And the third one is that people who has DVT are usually put on blood thinners. So people on blood thinners are at risk of bleeding. They have bleeding problems because if you brush your teeth, you bleed. You can bleed easily. If you fall, you bleed so easily. So that those risk factors can actually lead to blood loss from hemorrhage. If you're on blood thinner, so it's a risk factor. So you have to get your blood checked when you're on blood thinner, at least every 3 months, depending on how your doctor wants that done. So this is why DVT is very important. When you have all the signs and symptoms, you should seek medical emergency right away. Let me shock you with some statistics about DVT and pulmonary embolism. The precise number of people with DVT and pulmonary embolism is unknown, but it is estimated that 900,000 people have DVT and pulmonary embolism, and of that, a quarter of that die of sudden death every year. And it is estimated that 33% of people who already have DVT and pulmonary embolism will have long-term complications, such as damage to your veins, where the vein can no longer return fluid back to your heart. You can end up with swelling, you can end up with cramp, pain, and everything for a long period of time. And also, the reoccurrence of another DVT or pulmonary embolism for a second time can reoccur again. So it is important that we know the signs and symptoms of all of this so that we can prevent this from happening by regular checkup with your doctor, making sure that you know the signs and symptoms and when to report emergent need. So it is important. DVT is a very serious condition that can lead to sudden death. So it is important that we know this. Thank you.